Okay, so one of the things that helps my brain feel really safe when I'm in my business is knowing more information. If there's ever unknowns, your brain's going to freak out. So, this is how we make the unknown known. And instead of just kind of throwing spaghetti at a wall, didn't love that. And that's why I created the financial and business tracker. So, we're going to talk about like the importance of this and what it is, how to track things if you haven't seen the video already, and then how to just build awareness with this lovely weekly spreadsheet. And we're going to go, and if you want to start applying it to this past month, that might be helpful. And we can start to think about, okay, what is my conversion rate? What have I been doing in my business? Actually tracking the things that you're doing and making it work. So the reason why you want to create this spreadsheet, we want to know if you're on target to hit your goals. What are your goals? What does it take to reach said goals? And let's make it something that is quantitative, something that is not something that is just like out in the, like, oh, it's like, I feel like I'm on target. It's like, I feel like that would be nice. Instead, we're going to focus on, okay, I know factually, if I do X, then it usually equals X plus or A plus B typically equals C. So if I continue to do A plus B more, I'm going to get the results I want. So we're also going to we're going to talk about projections next week, but we're also going to create realistic ideas for your future earnings. So we want to think about, okay, if I was able to do this in 2023, what does 2024 look like? How can I amp up what I've been doing that's worked? And do I need to change things that might not be working? And then I also want your business to be really predictable and less surprising. I think it's one of the things that scare people the most about entrepreneurship is feeling like they just get blindsided by things or not knowing when things are going to happen. And this makes it feel more like a traditional career. And also, the money that you're earning, it's going to be even better because you're going to be like, oh, I can see exactly how what I'm doing creates this result. So again, this comes back to what we talked about, I think 3 weeks ago, talking about your business formula. Everything that you're doing in your business is always working. I want you to embody that belief that like everything I do works in some capacity. Is it creating the results I want? Is the question we want to answer. But we want to be thinking about investing in things in the indirect and direct ways with your time and resources in things that are going to serve you. And we're just going to amp up the things that work. So again, like I spoke about previously, for me, I've always had a coach. Always. I've always had multiple coaches. I've had a one-on-one coach. I've had group coaches. I've had masterminds. Like I've had it all. And I think that's one of the things that always works for me. I don't think there's ever a time in my life that you'll ever see me without a coach. That's just like why, because it works. So I'm like, I will continue to do the things that work. Self-coaching, literally what I was doing right before this call. Every time I coach myself and or like get coached by like somebody else, I always feel so much better. I'm like, after I coached myself today, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I just feel like I did like a 360. I was in such a funk this morning and I was literally like angrily cooking in the morning. I'm like, that's how you know there's a problem. That's like, because that's like my thing that like is like a stress reliever for me. And I'm like, why did I make 2 dinnerly meals? I'm like, because I was feeling stressed. So that's not helpful, but doing my self coaching as I did that and getting coached was really helpful. And then also writing copy and teaching and doing those things. That's important. And this is my data from 2022, but like managing, planning, delivering, all those things are things that were really helpful for me and things I want to obviously continue to do. Then I also took a gander at all the things that I was doing within my direct ways. So that was like, I was doing like a smidge of networking. This is back in 2022 before I actually realized the power of networking. I was like doing it kind of sporadically and I was like, okay, 40 hours for the whole year. The whole year, that's all I spent is like networking, talking to people. And that's it. You'll see why this is important. And then webinars, I did focus a lot on webinars, Facebook group a smidge, presentations, referrals. Like I used to consider that as like part of my coaching calls. Posting, I spent a ton of time on. Notice this number, notice this number. Email list, podcast, but this is back in 2021. Those are all things that I was doing to directly impact my business. But then I took a look at all of my consults, and the red ones are the ones that I got from networking. They were referrals, they were from networking, they were from 200K, self-coaching scholars, like all of these things. Those were ways that people were getting to know me, and they would refer people. Instagram, what I spent 1,800 hours of my work weeks on, that I got very few conversions. And you see it here physically. I was like, I want to just figure out the math. I'm like, where did all these people come from? And how can I continue to do the things that worked? I literally just did this with one of my clients who, she has a media coaching business. And we realized that 90% of her clients had a touch point with her where she either talked to them, sent them a message back, just like responded to a question that they had. 90% of them. And she was spending 0% of her time talking to people. I'm like, so yesterday we need to hire somebody to help you with this. Like, and her business is like a huge business. Like she already has like a bunch of employees, but I'm saying that like whatever works, we want to keep doing it. Now, if you don't have any clients and things like that, I just want you to do exactly what I did. I want you to think about, okay, whatever I did, it works for literally everybody. The networking piece of things, that's why you're in this program. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what essentially all the systems you have in place are what I did and what worked. And I left out anything that I felt like wasn't serving you. So like, that's where it's like, for me, it's like the Facebook groups, that's going to be like a bonus, but like, that's not something that you necessarily need. The email list, the podcast, like those are things that are great, but they're not necessarily things that like I would recommend when you're scaling to 6 figures and multiple 6 figures even. So there are things that we want to track. We want to track your marketing. We want to figure out how are you marketing, which includes the lead generation networking piece. We also want to track your sales, and then we want to track the money and see where everything is going. So the way that you're going to do this is this is a part of the planning process. And this is what I mentioned last week that you're going to start doing on Friday Hour Done or Monday Hour One, however you want to start CEO scheduling. But this takes it up a notch, because instead of having it be like instead of just like kind of being like, okay, I'm just thinking that these things are working, we're going to start measuring it. That's why you have your spreadsheet. That's why you've got for the networking. That's why you made the content calendar. We're going to see how many times you networked with people you knew. And for me, this is the first week of January, and I had a webinar. So I reached out to my whole list of 90 people that I had made connections with and talked to about coaching. And then you'll notice something. Didn't do any afterwards. And I'm like, oh, okay. Needed to follow up with people after the webinar. That probably would be helpful in the future. Then with outreach, I talked to 20 new people each week. And I made that was like the 10 on Tuesday, 10 on Thursday kind of protocol. But then I also fell off on that. And this is not to be doing it perfectly. It's just to be tracking it. Then the offers were the mix of posts and reels that I did. So I did 6 because it was 3 posts, a post and a reel for cold, post and a reel for warm, post and a reel for hot. And then I didn't even do a post that day. And then I also had consults. And then I have, this is the amount of money I made for sales. And then my overall income. So then for monthly, I also have it populates over, and I've got a whole video that you can watch to like see how to do that. And it makes the total for the month. And then I also have my quarter. So what I said, I was like, even if you've never signed anybody at all, I'm like, I would love for you to kind of follow this protocol if you want to. But this is like the 2.5 hours, 30 minutes a day doing the networking. If I got 21 clients from that, and I had a 77% conversion rate. I was like, maybe this would be 4 clients a month. This was my idea for 2023. Did any of this happen? No, but it was my best guess. And so this is what I had planned. And I was like, okay, if I can talk to people 30 minutes a day, this is going to work. I have not talked to 30 people a day, or I have not spent 30 minutes a day, but I do know that I see a direct reflection of it when it works. So again, these systems are not to make you feel so structured that you have to get it right. It's more so just a flexible way for you to see things. With my posts, I was like, I want to spend like 5 hours, and that was like weekly, monthly, and I would like to get clients from that. So this is more like the 6 hours a month. I should have changed that. And then I'm like, okay, I want to do 1 webinar a quarter. So that was my goal. And that's what I did. So I know that like that was a lot of numbers, but the good news is if you've been doing your weekly check-in, you actually have a lot of these numbers already. You at least have your finances. So what we're going to do is, if you're going to go into the classroom, make a copy of the weekly financial tracker. Take out the copy of, go to your Six Figure Systems Google Drive example, make a new folder, label it 8 finances. And then move this there. So in the slides, I had all of these things together, but this is like, it's like I showed all of January, and then I have the first quarter. But this truly is one of my favorite things. I still do it I'm pretty sure I have it even up to date. This is something that it just made me feel so much safer because I could actually see what I was earning. And I literally have done this, I think every week, yeah, except for last week, for the whole year. And then you can see my numbers over here. So crazy fun time, but you'll start doing it weekly. You're just going to start at the end of this year. So you're just going to start tracking it, and you're going to take everything. Now in your progress tracking, you actually have your revenue in there. So you can just take that revenue from each week. If you've been keeping track of it, you can go ahead and keep it in there. Now, because I took on more clients and I don't have as much time, I realized that you could actually do this monthly. So you don't even have to do this weekly. You could still do it monthly and like just get the data from each week, but you don't have to do it weekly. And I made a whole video explaining. Hey everybody, I wanted to show you how I did it for the month. So essentially, like I went in and I like looked at, and I go through how to like look at it on Instagram to see how many posts you did. Also how I do things with Acuity, and then how I did my finances for the spreadsheet. So all of this goodness is right here. Awesome. So this is one of the ones that, again, now that we are outside of these 6-figure essentials, you do not need to do this to make a 6-figure business. I know hundreds of people who have made 6 figures in their business without this. They didn't like the numbers, and that is totally fine. I was like, that is not a requirement to be like, oh, I'm in 6-figure systems, I have to have color-coded spreadsheets. I just found that it was really, really helpful for me when I'm thinking about what's working in my business. And I want to just encourage you, Armani, I know you were talking about like, I don't like seeing zeros there, but we just want to normalize the zeros. It's like, this is a company. You know what I mean? It's not, when you're thinking about like within a business, it's like, I didn't talk to people from June until August. I also didn't have any consults in July. I didn't, I've had 0 weeks this year where I've made no money and I've still hit 6 figures. So it's like just kind of getting that parameter that like this is another thing that creates safety, because the thing with traditional careers is that you get a paycheck, you have a very set time period, it feels very structured, and you don't really have that as a business. So it's just to kind of normalize that, okay, even if I'm not getting a paycheck every month, I still will have, it's like I can still see that I'm creating income in a way that feels really safe for me. So if that serves you, awesome. If not, feel free to ditch it. That's totally fine. I'm like, the whole reason why we're here is to not just like be like, Megan's a boss and I want to do everything like she does. It's to customize things and make it individualized for things that work for you. So if there are things that aren't working for you, let's talk through it if you want. And that was a quick one. The rest of these are going to be quicker, the modules. So the first ones are heavy, and the rest of these bad boys we're going to get through quick and then just open it up for some coaching. So, Alicia, I know that you were like, I need some coaching. We're ringing, and then anybody else.
Oh my God.
Start with the win. Start with the win. Something positive, and then we can get into it.
Okay. I don't even remember what I put on my form now.
Good. You can think of something new.
So I renewed 2 clients,
Yeah.
and yeah, but there's a but there.
Well, it's just like sit in the like, okay, I'm very joyful. I'm so grateful for these 2 humans, and bring on the but.
The but is that one of the things when I sat down and was doing my self-coaching, I realized that one of my issues, and you and I talked about this before, is that I've got all these people kind of doing random things, because they didn't want to go into a group or whatever, so, and I don't have, I mean, I'm not fully booked, so it's technically it's not a problem. But when I was doing my coaching and looking at 2024, I realized that I think if I really clean that up and just said, look, here's the deal. You can either do this or you can do this, but we're not doing what we're currently doing. It would free up these little fragments of time where my schedule's kind of butchered, and probably make me feel, more expansive, because I would have more blocks of time. And then I let both of them renew and didn't say one single word.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, what the heck is wrong with me? Like, it was so
there.
I was so
thought.
yeah.
So I want you to, when we're thinking about renewals, which is, I think, like Harmony mentioned in the group, you were like, I'm going to do like a halfway point thing, and then I'm going to like have the renewal call. This is why I like to do the renewals way further in advance. And I also like to think about like, how can I be sold for them before we get on the call? I think that you kind of got on the call and you were like, maybe not sold that either of those 2 options would be phenomenal for them. And I
For that.
think
Yes,
for
you're
that,
right.
you
Right
know,
with that. Mhm.
so what I want to do now is I want you to explain kind of like, who is client 1, what is their situation, who is
Yeah.
client 2, what is their situation, and then I'm going to sell the crap out of you on both of them being a fit for one of the 2 things.
Yeah. Well, neither of them want to be in a group setting.
Okay.
And client 1 is someone who is she's been working with me for, gosh, almost probably at least a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that neither of them are really difficult clients. They're great clients, and Client number one, yeah, she's not good in a group. I tried her in a group. She's really not good in a group. Mm-mm. She's just not a good fit for group. That's just it.
Love this thought for you. Also, why did you sell her into the new one-on-one then? Is it a new price for her?
Yeah, it's a new price for her. Yeah, it would be double. It would be double what she's paying, but she came in at one-on-one with that lower price. So it would be double for her, and thank you. And I'm just not yeah, I believe yeah, they got 4 kids. I mean, I know her life. So it's a friend. So
Okay. So how much this next program is 6 months as well? Okay. So you got, I don't love, and feel free to do whatever you guys wish, but I don't love after I've signed somebody into an old price. No, not like just in general, like just if I've signed them, if I said, okay, you're gonna be paying this to the end of the year, going back, like I wouldn't go back and be like, hey, it's actually double. I
No.
misspoke last week. I wouldn't recommend that. But you've got 5 weeks to either just prepare her and say, hey, like, so one of my clients, we've been working together for 2 years. It's a similar kind of thing. Like, I love her. She wouldn't be the one I just mentioned, the one that is like, hasn't been talking to people, but she's got a really large business. I don't think she would be a great fit for group. And so I've just communicated with her. I'm like at the almost the beginning of this round, I was like, hey, so this is the price for this round, but next round it's going to be this.
Right.
And I'm like just telling her, I'm like, it's like totally up to you. And this goes for everybody. Like, I'm like, totally up to you if you want to renew. I just want to make sure that I've told you that now versus later. Just so you can communicate that. But I don't think you'll communicate that very well if you're not super sold that it is worth double the price for her. So
Yeah.
that's why I want to like coach on any thoughts that come up. So it's like I would tell her, be like, hey, this is the last round that we are doing at this grandfathered price, but I've been growing like crazy. I've got all these new one-on-one clients, and I just want to be equitable to them and like make sure that like my pricing is the same, and also let you know way in advance what the deal is. So now that I said that, how does that feel for you? Do you like doing something like that? Do you want to troubleshoot something else?
No, that actually feels good because I think she would probably be a good fit in one of the groups without doing coaching. And so I think if I could be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like by the end of this 6 months together, I think you would be great for this step down program to just kind of maintain your fitness. And I'm not sure that you're going to need as much coaching or something like that.
Yes. And if you do, then there's
Or
it's
let's just work to get you where you want to go really hard over this next 6 months so that you can move to this other program.
well, and it's
That,
also interesting that like, or she could also pay more.
yeah, she could. Yeah.
So
And
it's
I could,
like, you know what I mean? It'd be like, it's like these are the two options going forward. I was like, this is what I would like to do. I think you'd be a great fit for either, but we don't need to make the decision right now. I just
right.
want to let you know that like these are the two options, or we can do one-on-one, but like just giving her that like heads up way, way, way in advance versus like at that 4 weeks before renewal call, I think would just be that feels good to so it's like I think I told you guys about like my coach who I worked with, they would just like kind of like spring price
Yeah.
increases on me and be like, literally it was like I was a teacher and she was like, it's 3K a month, 12K for 4 months. How do you want to go? And I was like, today's our last day and I have to come up with 3K. Oh my God. And so it was like very triggering. And I was like, and we've talked since then. And she's like, I'm not doing that anymore. I was like, good. But it was like within that, it was a little stressful. And so it's like, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to say yes to themselves and also say yes to you if it's a good fit for them.
Okay.
Now, for the one-on-one, how much is the price for that?
4,800.
4,800 for the 6 months. And how much is the group?
24. One of them is 2,400. One of them is 1,000.
All right, the group that the only group you're gonna be doing in 2024.
Girl, mm-mm.
No, I hear it. All right. It's like the no, 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 no. It's like just think of it. I know you've got your knee pain group, and then you have the group of people who just are continuing, right? That's the two groups right now.
No, there's three.
I know. But what are the groups that you're torn between continuing?
Well, I have two graduate groups. So I have a group of so they work with me one-on-one, and then they can step down to this first tier of the graduate group where they're still getting custom workouts, they're still getting weekly coaching, but it's group coaching. And then after that, they can step down to more of a maintenance program where it's $1,000 a month. I mean, $1,000, $1,200 for a year, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This
coaching,
and this is twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
So, it's just the thing here.
To clean all this.
I know. I'm like, that's why you hired me, is to clean the shit up. So it's like within these two things, it's like you just told me that you're like, this would be really great for me to have this set up. Having this set up would be lovely. I would have more time. I'd be able to be refocused. I wouldn't have. So it's like, are you sold on this? I take it if you're doing that. I'm like, maybe we are not sold on this. We need to figure this out.
Yeah, no, I was really sold on the so I was really sold on getting rid of my stragglers, my one-on-one stragglers, which are client 1, client 2, and then I've got client 1.5 and 2. Just some stuff. Y'all don't laugh at me. So I'm sold.
I love you. I'm laughing with you. We're laughing.
I'm sold. Listen, I know it's a mess. I'm sold on getting rid of the stragglers and just like if I could have,
if you could have this set up,
this is what
good with you would be happy with this.
This is what I came to. Okay, and I'm just gonna get on video. Look like hell. So anyway,
nobody cares. Literally, no one cares.
Sweat. I'm just fresh out of the shower. Okay, so so this all started with, Olivia asking me, how much do I want to work? What do I want to make? So I sat down and did that exercise. And I came out with what really sounds doable to me. And that would be
I want everyone to answer this question on your own. How much do you want to work? How much do you want to make?
Yeah.
Then do the math to make it work.
Yes. And so that's what I did. I set out to do the math to make it work. And it would be 10 people one-on-one at $4,800.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 people in my knee pain group at $2,400.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess this pertains to today. Tell me if I'm going too much off track, but
nope, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
And so that gets me to about 80K, and then I would have renewals. And so I'm totally sold on that stuff, but then it's 80K then plus renewals. 80K
so there. It's this situation.
Well, yeah. So the renewals is the messy situation. That's the renewals.
How much do you want to make? Is it 80K or more?
I mean, I would like to make anywhere from 80 to 100.
Okay. So just like a business that is just like running on this. When we're thinking about that with the renewals, I actually don't mind the renewal thing. And actually, you guys might be the first group that I'm contemplating doing a grad
Right.
group. Like
Right.
I don't mind it, because I do get that, like, if you've been in this, you do have the system set up, especially now after this level, like where it's like you copy it exactly for you. And I also know if coaching with me is working with you, I'm like, I do want to have a space where you don't have to maybe do 2 hours. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I've thought about it. I'm actually like within this, but I just don't think that the two grad groups are serving you. Maybe just could we combine it to one? How much is
Yeah.
this grad group one?
That's 2,400 for 6 months.
Okay. If they're already used to paying this, don't you think that would still be, they'd be down for that? Now, these people, you'd have to have the same conversation with this, like for this next round, being like, hey, just so you know, by June of 20 or May or March, wherever you want to do, it's like by March, the price is going up. We're all going to be in one group. But if you're thinking about so to come up with this, the hours that you're working, it's like we want to think about like that as well. And this is literally what I did,
I
because
did that.
Christina Langdon literally asked me this, and this is going to be helpful for your availability for everybody. But like, so do you want to do a day for one-on-one and then a day for group? It's like three. That's the way I do it. I'm like 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday is my one-on-one days. And Thursday is my two groups, potentially three if I do a retention group.
Um,
Or is
I hadn't thought about it, dividing it into days. I hadn't thought about that.
it was her
Um,
idea. I enjoyed it. But
okay. I just put down Monday through Thursday, 10 to 3. That's 20 hours a week.
mhm,
Um, and the way I broke it down was the 10 hours of one-on-one, 2 hours of knee pain group, which would mean I would have 2 knee pain groups running at the same time. So that would be 4 launches a year.
okay.
And then 1 hour of the hiker fit, which is the lower end group, and 1 hour of the graduate group.
Are you hearing it? And that's not including any time to do any marketing. That's not including any
Well,
time.
that's 14 hours of total coaching per week,
Okay.
and then it would be 6 hours of admin.
Okay.
Here's the deal. I just
How
need
does-
to grow a pair and tell my people, look, you either do, if you want customized work, you got to pay customized prices. And then otherwise you go into this maintenance group where everybody gets the same stuff, and you're going to have to, I'll coach you through it. I could even change that coaching to once a week instead of twice a month, but I'm not going to be programming. If you want the individualized programming,
You can always upgrade.
it's terrible though.
Why? Okay, so what are your thoughts? And I think that seems really like, I feel like that would feel awesome for you. And then you would have one more hour to get this work done. And you're doing all these customized workouts and stuff for them too, for the admin. I want you to include in there also the work that you're doing for them. But
Yeah.
it's like there's something in your brain that is like, okay, when I say the circumstance would be combine group one with knee pain, with current knee pain, correct?
No, it's my graduate groups. The knee pain group is totally separate. It's my
Okay,
graduate,
so it would
2
be
graduate groups.
right. So it's saying combine the grad groups together.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Hmm.
Okay, so it's like there's what is the thought here? It's like combine the grad.
The thought is that I have a hard time asking them to pay one-on-one prices again.
Oh, okay. Why?
It's too expensive.
Okay. Yep. So if you're having the thought it's too expensive,
That's why I have to create something where they still get what they want, but they don't have to pay as much.
love that. Love that. How does it feel when you think it's too
Makes
expensive?
sense to you? It makes total sense to me.
I was like, it does for your brain, so we got to coach on it. What is the feeling that goes on when it says it's too expensive?
Oh, how does that feel? I mean, they've invested a lot. I want to, in some way, it feels a little graspy because it's like I don't want to lose them. And
Mm,
so I can bend over and twist myself to accommodate them because they were great clients and I don't want to lose them and I know I can still help them.
mm. So
So I
I think that the thought,
a little
I
bit of
think the
that.
fear actually coming out of too expensive, it's
Mhm.
like the fear, I think, is so the options that you're giving them is they can go to the group or continue to pay one-on-one.
Yeah.
And your thought is that like they won't get help, I think, if I
Yeah.
don't do this bend over backwards thing. And I know I can still help them with that thought when we're thinking about like combining these two groups, when it's like you're thinking that they're not going to choose that, that it's a bad choice for them in some
Yes.
way. Why?
Because they've told me they don't want it. They've told me they don't want to do group, or they told me they like the way things are.
Uh-huh.
Just keep doing what we're doing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And we love and welcome that feedback. And also they can keep things the way they are. They just have to do one-on-one. Like that's totally fine. It's like your brain's like, I have to argue with them and tell them it's different and make this whole new thing for them versus just being like, we can totally keep it the way it is. This is the price, but like that's the one-on-one. It's like you've got it 100%. And the way that you said it was like, I just need to grow a pair and tell them that like it's a mean thing. Like it's gonna be bad. I'm like, but what if this isn't a bad thing for them? This person who has paid, is going to pay double. Okay, like this, it's like if she could pay 4,200 for one-on-one, do you think that she could probably pay 4,800 for one-on-one?
Wait, say that again.
Your brain is like the thought, like if she will pay 2,400 for one-on-one, that
Mhm.
she will not pay 4,800 for one-on-one. But what if she can totally afford this? What if she's like just throwing it on a credit card and has no problem paying this back? It's like not hard at all. Even with the 4 kids and all the story that you have around it. Well, that's like not a big deal at all. Especially when she's got 6 months to prep for it and save up if she needs to.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know what her,
You're
I
in her
don't know.
pocketbook, I think a smidge. I think we all get there. But I think that you're like in her wallet. Like I know that you paid this
Look at me.
before.
I'm like trying to massage my
I know
thought.
you're like, wait, no. And it's like, but it's like, what if she could totally pay that, or she's gonna be ready and it's gonna be fine? Like, what if she's like, I know that she said that she likes things the way they are, of course, but you can't continue to run a business based on the people who started with you at the very beginning. I had one of my clients at the very beginning, she was paying 100 a session, like at the very beginning. And she was like, she just reached out the other day. It was like, I would love to coach again. Are you still honoring the 400 a month price? And I was like, no, but I've got other options. And she's like, but she was like, I, she's like, of course I miss you, but like, I totally also understand that.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's like, she's not going to be thrilled that she can't coach with me for 100 a session. But it's also at the same time, she's like, she gets it. So it's like, they're going to get it too. Maybe
Okay.
they'll be a little bit upset, but I think there's also a thought that like, what if they do leave? They're amazing clients. You said that they're not, what were the words that you said? They're not a difficult client. They're easy.
Yeah.
I think your brain is like, if I don't resign them, then there are going to be other people. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to sign other people at this price to replace them. I think that might be where this is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely that too.
Tell
That's
me
an
what, tell me, so it's like, if these two people,
why would I turn down money if I could just but it's that picking up pennies to, and and not missing out on dollars situation. But again,
Mhm.
like it's easy. They're, you know,
Mhm. And I'm not saying that you have, this is literally like, if they just resigned, they're
yeah,
gonna be done in May.
right.
This is not something that you need to like you can coach yourself in the meantime to be like, I can find like I have other people to build. I mean, like in the next 5 months, don't you think you're gonna have a wait list for one-on-one?
Yes, that's our plan.
That is the plan. But you've net like, it's like with all the things that you're adding to your business now,
Yeah.
like I don't think there's, I mean, if you have such a huge audience that I think would be so excited for you to just offer them, hey, I would love to do one-on-one coaching with you. You're gonna have to get to know them. They're gonna be a little different. But I think this thought, like, it's easy. I just went like it's like I feel like I'm turning down money.
Mm.
I think that's the thought that's keeping you in creating a bunch of different groups, a bunch of different things. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah. No, that's totally it. I don't want to
You
lose
know?
them. It's easier to, it's easier to keep a customer than go out and find a new one for sure. That's
Is
it.
that okay? So that's a thought.
That's, that's a business principle, Megan.
I was like, is it though? Is
Right.
it though?
I know Nadia is with me on this, right? Nadia.
And also you're thinking that you are going to lose them. It's easier to keep an old client than renew, but like maybe it's easier to keep a client at one price, but it's not easier. I was like, versus just starting someone at the new price. They have no thoughts about it. They're like, oh, this is just a price.
Yeah. Yeah.
A new client. It's like your brain also has thoughts that they won't renew at
Right.
the new place.
Yeah. Yeah. So the feeling is scary. If I give them that information, it feels scary. And the reason it feels scary is because, yeah, they might say no. They might say no.
They might say no in May.
Yes.
Okay, so
And that'd be okay.
would it be okay?
Yeah. No, it would be okay.
Like in May.
Yes. In May. That feels safe.
It's like, but your brain's like, they might say no right now, and I wouldn't make that money right now, and it's gonna hurt this 80K possibility.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of catastrophizing. And it's like, I want you to think about like all those people. It's like lots of catastrophizing. We're just gonna like lump it. And I'm guessing, I wonder if there was a time in your past in your business when you raised your price and people said no, and then there was like a bit of a slump. Did something like that happen where your brain's like kind of like in that?
Well, I haven't signed anybody new in a while. And so probably the last objections I got were price for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, consults are so much work. There's always that underlying thought I'm not that great at them. So yeah, let me just sign this easy client. I know. Yeah, I see it all now. It's all
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so what happens is it's like you undermine your ability to keep
Mhm.
them and bring in new people.
Yes.
So what comes up there?
Yeah. Okay. No, but that feels better though to know that that's something I can work toward. It's not a decision, it's not something that I have to
And
like
also,
immediately implement. And I think that just felt like scary.
yes. And
I
so
like
like,
that. I like it. And when everyone comes up for renewal, yeah.
and I would say that like with this, like give her insight. If this feels scary to you right now, to do right now, let's continue to coach on it, bring it, like put it in the stream and stuff and be like, okay, here's another thought, and get really sold that like her paying 4,800 is worth this. It would be a steal. So you told me a lot about her life. Why would it be great for her to have like we can sell her, and this is what I like to do mentally if I have both options up at one time, I sell myself on both of them. So I'm like, why I think it would be great for her. But I'm like, let me sell you on her being great for this. It's like, yes, it's 4,800, but that is saving her $2,400 worth of effort and energy that she just doesn't have to think about. She just shows up. She knows she's going to get that customized coaching. She knows exactly what she's going to get. And if she's got 4 kids, one-on-one would be amazing for her. She just wants to keep going. She is more than willing to pay for that because it's like this energy. Also, what you're not thinking about is like, maybe would she have a personal trainer? What would she hire instead?
Yeah.
Maybe a personal trainer is someone who costs way more that doesn't know her and can't coach her.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like this one-on-one would be amazing for her and still a steal. And also group would be amazing for her. Like what you were saying is like you would get her ready over the next 6 months and then she'd just be paying the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like sell yourself on both of those things for her, being like, I feeling good about them before you bring up this.
Yeah.
So sell yourself on this
Mm-hmm.
before talking. And because what's going to happen is if you have thoughts about it, it will show up in the way you talk about it.
Yeah. No, that's true. That, and I need to do that for client number 2, which is a completely, she has a different circumstance and she really does
Right.
need customized stuff. And so, and it really, you're right, it really may not be an issue for her to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And the
But
way like you can start framing it is like you can start just thinking about like how much would they be paying for a personal trainer, a physical therapist, a like I don't know, like all the things that they get within working with you, another like mindset person to help them. It's like this is saving them money to do the 4,800.
okay.
So I want you in there. If this, the reason why I'm like harping on this is that somebody said this is too expensive. This goes for everybody. There was a thought that you were like, it's not worth this in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
How is your program worth this? And so much more. What do they get for paying 4,800 to work with you, Alicia Philly, one-on-one? What's the amazing perks of this?
Are you asking or is that rhetorical?
Asking.
So they get customized workouts tailored to them and their goals, delivered in a free app. They get customized nutrition coaching. Again, same thing, tailored to them and within the app. And they get weekly mindset coaching. Yeah, they get my experience as a physical therapist.
Oh my God, I didn't know you were a PT.
Huh?
Oh my God, that's incredible. Love it.
My expertise in sports medicine. So
how much
no, interesting. I did see somebody, one of my competitors, he does the same thing I do. He's a PT assistant and he's put together his program and brought in a physical therapist, a nutrition coach. Seems like there was somebody else that he brought in. Oh, a chef, backpacking chef or something. Like he brought in all these people and that really did hit home like, oh, well, shit.
But you're doing all that. So like literally if you want to like list it, I was like, so I know that a nutritionist that I worked with was 2,400 just for the nutritionist, right? How much is a physical therapist or how much is a personal trainer?
They can be like $100 a session, maybe anywhere from 75 to 100 probably.
Okay, so let's even just say lowball it, right? 75, and this is the way I want you guys to think about this. Like 75 times 24, that's 1,800. Okay. What about coaching? Even the lowest of the low ball of coaching, that is like typically 100 a session, which 100 times 24, that's 2,400 right there. Plus all of to be a, how much would physical therapy and to do that for 6 months?
Yeah, it's not, I don't provide physical therapy.
No,
It's
but I'm saying that, like, you know, it's like the to have a physical therapist in your corner giving you these customized workouts. It's so much more than a
right.
personal trainer. How
Yes.
much would that be?
Um, Dude, I don't even know. I mean, if I see somebody in PT as a PT, just custom, I'll do, it's probably like $100 a session at least.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And if they came to you just for those 24 sessions, that'd be another. So I want you to sell this and be like, this is half the price of what it's worth, pretty much. 2,400 to 9,000. Be like, it's like you, but instead of having to go to all these people, you get this is an all-in-one. It's
Mm-hmm.
like instead of having to hire a nutritionist, instead of to have a mindset coach, instead of having a personal trainer, it's like this is all in one. You get all of this for the price of this.
Right.
Did you ever see it like that?
I mean, no, I honestly, I didn't until I saw his post
Yes,
highlighting his team. And I'm like, why do you need a team to do all of that? I mean,
because
some of
he
it,
doesn't.
I'm not a backpacking chef, I'll give you that. But I mean,
But
I,
do you need a backpacking chef to coach people on hiking?
no, I mean, even my backpackers,
Well,
I coach them on their nutrition and everything, you know.
yes. And instead of having to have all these different sessions with all these different random people, they can just get all of it with you.
Yeah.
Do you see how much more valuable that it's like? This is 9K worth of value that I am giving you. So if anyone comes to you on a consult and they're like, oh, it's like, and you explain it like this, it's like instead of having, and I would say this on consult, it'd be like, instead of having to hire a personal trainer, you get all of the workouts with me, all included. Along with that, instead of having to hire a nutritionist to support you, you get me giving you all this nutrition coaching to help your body feel you exactly what you need. You're also going to get me to help you with your mindset, which is the one of the biggest pieces that people, it's like people have the personal trainers, they might have a nutritionist, they might have a physical therapist, but the mindset coaching is really what takes you to the peak of your hiking experience and or the peak of your goal.
Right.
Like
Right.
this is like a steal. It's like if you don't want this for, and they only have to, how many times they meet with you once a week and they get all this, right?
Yeah. And we have instant messaging in the within the app. I'm communicating with them daily. I mean, it really is like having I mean a, you know, a trainer with them all the time.
I want you to sell it like that.
Okay.
Be like, if you want a personal trainer and physical therapist in your pocket, hire me.
Yeah.
Like if you want a nutritionist also in your pocket, hire me. If you want a coach in your pocket, this is why you should work with me. It's such a steal. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts now?
Um, I mean, I feel calmer. I have to get, you know, I still have to get detached from these personal stories of these of my people, you know, a little bit. So,
And you think about how much it's going to help you help more people in the future though.
yeah.
Because if you stay attached to them and their story, then you're not going to be able to serve other people. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That's the way I sell myself on it. And then we can have like a complete relationship versus it feeling like the one that got away. But I went like, what made you feel calmer looking at this?
Um, I think I don't know. I think I had just some doubt and lack of belief had crept in, and I guess I really have had some, I don't know why I'm doing this, or I don't know, what am I doing this? I don't know, imposter syndrome. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
That crept in. Um, but that makes me feel like, no, it is totally worth that price. I don't know why I thought any different. I let my consults, I think, plant the doubt.
Yeah. And I think because you weren't sealed in before that. I
Yeah.
think that's why the consoles crept in. But it's like if you think about like with fitness, this is where you want to be like, it's like essentially like, do you have a personal trainer currently? I would like to be that personal trainer for you. With the knee pain, I'm a former it's like I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a former physical therapist, so I know how to deal with knee pain with confidence. I'm also a life coach. I'm not just a coach, but it's like I'm going to help you confidently get to the top of there. And with the consistency, I'm also going to be giving you not only the physical health and like the workouts you need, but also I'm going to help you create a lifestyle around it, which is going to include your nutrition. I don't think you were selling it like this. It's
Mm.
like I want you to think about each pillar is a role. Personal trainer, physical therapist, life coach, nutritionist. It's like because we want consistency on and off the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
But it's
did
like
add, I did that. I did add a nutrition,
perfect.
yeah, because I have a whole, anyway. Yeah. No, that's all
And you
good.
know what, like, kind of like is just so interesting that this gentleman, and I have nothing against gentlemen ever, but it's like, I wonder how much his program is.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't.
But you know what? I feel like he has told himself that it's worth it,
Yeah.
even though he's less experienced. So when you go in there and be confident and be like, this is totally worth the price. I have more, you were just a physical therapist. You wasn't even a full PT. Like I have been to school for years. I know what I'm talking about. I have all of this expertise. If you want the best experience, you should work with me.
Yeah.
I'll make this the best hiking experience of your next 6 months ever. Do you see that difference? So I'm like, I am so sold. I'm like, you better keep up this price. And all these other people, of course, it's like you were just getting started. It's like, and I'm so glad. And don't have to say it like being like mean. You're like,
Right.
go when you're like grow a pair, you can be like, it's like, I'm just so grateful for you. And my business has grown so much since then. I want to continue to support you. And I also want to make sure this is equitable for everybody and also giving me the funds to like build this business even more.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if you wanted to, you could hire somebody else to do some stuff that you don't like if you wanted to by keeping these prices this way.
Yes.
But I'm excited for this transitional year for you. I know I coached you hard, but I think it was like I want everybody else to sell themselves the way I see your group and your program and your whatever you do. It's like I want you guys to be as sold as I am that this is a steal. Like it's like if you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. But I want you to know what you're saying no to. You're saying no to a personalized personal training, physical therapist, nutritionist, and coach. Just to make sure that we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can even add some of this marketing onto your website and make it a part of some of the marketing you're doing.
Yeah. I need to do that. That's on
And
my
be
list.
like, how many people, it's like, how many of you are trying to do all your workouts yourself or have hired a personal trainer? It's like, instead of doing that, I'd love to give you customized workouts. It's like having a PT in your pocket. I'd
Yeah.
love to do it for you.
Okay.
I
Thank
do.
you.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
I
No,
love you.
that won't be the last time, but
Yeah, bring it. I was like, seriously, bring it. I'm here to be like, bring it. I will help you build your confidence. We have got this.
yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Of course.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Who else wants some coaching today? I feel like Dimitri, I know that you mentioned something in the group. How are you feeling about that? The PSPR since then?
Hello. Um, I think I'm feeling good. Oh, I was talking about,
Your PSPR.
yes. And now I can't remember exactly what I put in there.
Okay.
Um,
Here,
but
I
I
was like,
did
we'll
like,
pull it up. But I think the thought was like that it was too simple.
oh,
And
yes,
I
yes,
think that
yes.
like if you say it like this, I think that that is the way, if anyone asks you about your program, you're like, this is what I do. But then
Mhm.
when you break it down to direction, time management, confidence, and 3-year plan, that's when I think you get to be a little bit more specific to be like, okay, it's like, and if we're thinking about like your ideal client, that was another way I was thinking about like bringing in like this my self coaching. I was like, but thinking about the when I was saying like the Tuesday 2 o'clock program, I want you to
Mhm.
think about who this would be a perfect fit for.
So I was a little confused about the Tuesday to like on a Tuesday
Yeah,
at 2 o'clock. What are you thinking that?
yeah, that's why I was like, if we get clear on your ideal client, you'll know their Tuesday 2 o'clock problem. So it's like this is typically women, right? Do you
Typically
still with
women,
them?
yes.
Okay. And tell me about her.
Um, sh- she everything's okay, but she's not totally satisfied with life. And so one of the things I've been working on is like, yes, I want to do goal coaching, but I still want to do some of that curate your life stuff. Like, so curating your life is achieving that one goal, like setting and achieving that goal every 90 days to have your life look like whatever you want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not just like necessarily like starting a business or something like that. It could be something as simple as decluttering your home, but it's a goal that you've been struggling with and you need to get done to make your life what you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
Tuesday, 2 o'clock, she may just be kind of, she has this low level frustration running through her. And she may not be able to put her finger on the exact problem, but she knows that it can be better.
yes. And so when we're thinking about that person, we want to think about what would it's like when she's like she's not totally sad. It's like nothing's gone wrong, but nothing is like it's like nothing is wrong, but that level. It's like we want to compel her to take action
Mhm.
and be like, if you are not, it's like the level of satisfaction in your life, we only get one shot at this life.
Right.
So if you are not feeling totally satisfied, there is something that you can do about it. I remember I was just kind of going with the flow, feeling okay, but I was meant for more. I knew that there was something there. Now, if we're thinking about when does it come up when she recognizes that she's not totally satisfied with life?
I mean, it could be at work. She could not be totally satisfied at work. She could not be totally satisfied in her relationships. It could be late night sitting on the couch staring at the television, buffering with wine and food.
Mm-hmm. So this is with wine and food. And this is where I want you to write your copy from. I want you to write it to her.
Okay.
And this is a tip for everybody. Writing, like, I want you to think about like it could even be past you. I think it could be like anything, but I want you to think about like, okay, it's like um you throw the bottle in the recycling and you can hear the clatter. How many bottles of wine have you gone through this week? Or like in this past couple weeks?
Mm.
Like in the day. It's like or it's like something like that, which is like that really is like she's like, oh shit, that
Right.
literally happened last night.
Yeah.
How did she
Okay.
know?
Yeah. Okay. I can do that. So, okay. I don't want to be flaky.
That's
I've,
okay.
I've been coaching myself on this. So I'm like, I don't want to be flaky, and I do like the goal thing. But when I think of goal coach, I feel like it's like business, like big
Mhm.
goals. So I'm probably just going to say life coach, but still working on like a goal 90 days at a time, like to make your life better.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave some of my pillars. I may pull in some of the ones that I had before, but I very much like this. And I really do feel like I am so in the right place and so doing the right thing. And I feel 6,000 times better about it. Like I feel like I planted things and everything's like gonna sprout any minute. Like it's spring. Well, it is hot in
Mhm.
Texas. I'm sitting in my mom's house and burning up because Lord, she had the heat on, and it's not even hot. I mean, cold here, but
I can't
anyway,
even imagine.
I'm like, Mom, I'm sweltering.
Where are you, Demetria?
Which is why I have a church fan, San Antonio, and it's
It's
not
coming.
hot, y'all, and she has the heater on. I'm like, oh my God. So,
Oh
but
no.
we're leaving here today and we're going to Houston, and it's going to get, and I put on a sweatshirt that wasn't smart, but I
I'm
feel
in
like
right
I'm
now. It's
so,
freezing.
oh,
So yeah, it's so cold here right now.
oh yeah. Well, we should probably switch maybe. But I really feel like on the brink of breakthrough. So that's where I was when I made that. But I do very much like the fact that I need to sit down and talk to her. And I have a book that I've been writing out some ideas and stuff like that. So I am going to have some quiet time this week, even though we're going to friends. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And um, I am back to podcasting weekly, although it's just really, I dropped one last week and one today, but I have some ideas. And so I'm just going to, my goal right now is to work on putting out as much content, making offers. And Megan, I love what you said the other day about this is a perfect time to work with me. So at some point I'm going to, I don't know if it will be a live or whatever, depending on where I can record but to talk to people about this is a perfect time, even though it's the holidays and whatever, and we can work around holiday schedules. So
And just thinking about like you as a life coach, if they want better relationships, my God, I'm like every holiday. I literally just got coached this morning on like, I'm going to be with my sweet mama who I love. And she called me this morning and I was like, instantly, I was like, I need just some quick coaching on this before we get to my business because I was like, I am going to spend the week with her and I'm just like, and I love my family so much. And I was like, y'all, I was like, I just need some quick coaching. I was like, but to have someone in my pocket who is like exactly what I was saying to Alicia, I was like, literally like to have someone be like, it's happening again. I'm so frustrated. Literally, like it's invaluable because then like I'm never gonna get these holidays back. And like one of the things that like for me, my uncle who it's like my grandmother's brother, but he's 91 and he is very sick right now. And I'm thinking about all the times that I was in such a mental state that I wasn't really present, couldn't show up. And like I was just like in my head when I wasn't really spending time with him. And I genuinely like he's still in the hospital and like I think he's gonna be okay, but like we don't know. You know,
right,
and it's like if this is the last holiday I ever get to spend, I don't want to spend it upset at my mom.
right,
I was
yeah,
like, and like having that thought, it's like that level of positioning, like they're never going to get this time back. I want you to really truly enjoy the holidays and be with your people.
right.
Like all the fields. I was like,
I got
wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I think that would be really like if I had found coaching years before I did, even though I found it like younger than most, like man, what I would give to get more time because you can't get it back, you know?
Cannot get it
It's for
back.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so that is what I want you to go with. And I also want you to like position yourself as like I want to be the kind, like, I want your positioning and I saw that you're doing like a really cool thing with you're collaborating with people
Yes.
and be like, it's like you need to, it's if you want to work with me, it's like I'm going to help you to curate your whole life. It's like if you want this next 3 months to be the best 3 months you've ever had, it's like I want you to really position yourself with that level of confidence. Like I want to help you make the most of every single moment. That is why you work with me. How does that feel to you?
Good.
I
Yeah.
love you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I was so excited yesterday when I saw you on on Stacy's. I was like, "Oh, I know her."
It's like, wait.
I just gotten home and I was just gonna listen and like pack, and I'm like, I'm paying attention. So it was
I
very
can't
good.
believe you were on. I mean, that was so crazy. She asked me last Wednesday to be the guest coach for 2K, and I was literally just like, okay, let's go.
So awesome. Okay, thank you so much. I feel really good. Like I'm just, yeah, thank you.
Of course. Nadia, ring it, girl. Also start with the win. I forgot to start with the win earlier.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, can you hear me now? Hold on.
Yes.
Okay. So, oh God, when, what did I put down? Well, last week, a friend reached out and asked to find out about working with me. So that was a win for me. Someone that I had no idea was interested. So that was good.
Oh, good.
So what I want coaching on is I was on away this weekend on a big long drive, taking my daughter somewhere. And on the way back, I was listening to loads of stuff, and the idea popped in my head that I should, and I want coaching on it because I'm like, should I deviate from like my program? You know, like obviously I've got my program with my pillars and that, but I'm like, no, wait, I'm going to create this offer. And I'm like, in one way, I'm like, yeah, that's great. And the other way, I'm like, should I do that though? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it a good idea to do it? It's similar. It's not like something completely different.
What is the idea? Tell me about it.
So I was just going to do, rather than doing, because obviously Coaching Business Accelerator is like 6 months to grow your coaching business and like get it off the ground, you know, sign your first few clients.
Oh, I love that. That's your
But
tagline. Signed your first
pardon?
few clients. I was like, I didn't know that was a part of your tagline. I love this.
It wasn't. That's just what I mean. Like, this is just what I think it is. I don't actually say that, but that's kind of like in my head.
Compelling as fuck. I'm like, yes.
But then I was like, why don't I just do like an intensive? So like 1 month, like 30 days to help you sign your first client. So it would be 30 days, one-on-one coaching. We would do, I'm in my head, I'm creating what I would do with them.
Yeah.
But the goal would be to sign your first client. And then I would be saying, if you don't, I'll give you your money back. So I would be putting, you know, my faith in me and in the process and in the coaching and my ability to help them. And then that's the sort of kickstart they need. Because sometimes, this is what I think as well, is sometimes when you've got 6 months to do something, it can be slow. I know I'm like that. I'm like, you know, if there's no like deadlines or like things like that, something can take me ages to do. Whereas if I was like, somebody was like, this is what we're doing, 30 days, let's do it, I would be much more inclined to actually get all the stuff done rather than pussyfoot around and not do anything.
I love this. And I think initially, I think what you were saying is it would be a separate offer where it would be like a separate piece. What if the Coaching Business Accelerator includes the intensive? The first month of the accelerator is the intensive. What if the first month of the 6, you sign that first client? And then you funnel in people afterwards. I know it's not like, I think that your brain was like, let's do this, but what if, so you're saying that like, if I don't have a deadline, then I'll be slower and I won't have like this level of momentum, but that's because of your thoughts. So what if you give them the thought, okay, in your first month, we are signing a client. Like that is what we do in the Coaching Business Accelerator. We get you started, in your first 30 days is the kickstart to the rest of your business. Then there's so much other stuff that we do in the back end, but I want you signing people in 30 days. Sign up to work with me right now. This is going to be amazing. Do you see the difference? Is like you're, instead of using it as a funnel, we're using it as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
So in their
Because I was
book-
thinking in my head, I was like, I would do that 30 days and then upsell, or sell them into a 6-month container or whatever.
And do you
But
know
it's like, pardon?
Do you know Charlotte Smith? Do you know her? She's a coach for farmers. Okay, so she's my
What,
coach.
sorry?
She's my coach. She coaches farmers, and she's gonna hit like, I think 800 and like multiple million next year. But she's my breakout room instructor in 200K. And when, like, I love her. We're like also very good friends outside of it. And she was like, what I used to do to sell this mastermind was a 3K in 30 days challenge. And I would do like a challenge that's sounding similar to this intensive. But then she was like, why are you doing that? She was like, they're not as invested as your other clients who have paid more. And then if they don't get the result, they're going to think that you don't get them results. Versus it might just, like, we want to make programs that work for other people. And you were like, I don't even know what I would do in here. It's like, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it would help them. But if any single person doesn't get results, they become a loud voice that I do not want you to have. And that's what happened. It's like, then she was like, people were doing this challenge. And again, it was a free challenge. So it would be different because they're invested in it. But it put so much pressure on them. It put pressure on me to perform. Whereas if they're working with me one-on-one, I'm like, okay, we're going to go ham in these first 30 for you. It's like, we're going to go ham in these first 30 days. I'm going to give you everything I can. And then we're going to balance it out and set you up to scale. So it's like, we're going to grow and scale extremely quickly in this program. This is why it's called an accelerator. It's an intense, it's like we start with an intensive and then keep up the momentum throughout the next 6 months or the next 5 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the thing it's like with that, like, you will sign your first client or give your money back. First off, that puts you in a financial funkiness. And also you're going to be signing, what I learned with the money back guarantee. Now, all of you guys still get it, but it was like, I actually decided to get rid of it because the people that were coming were like, not necessarily even people that were coming, but I could foresee in the future people being skeptical and being like, all right, we'll see if you can. Nothing else has worked for me. How will this work? Which I don't know if that's like, but just like based on like human nature, that might happen. And I'm like, that would not be great, because then you're working with the people, like giving them your all, and you're like, I don't know if my coaching, and it's like they're just kind of like there to like test the system, be like a little like, all right, let's see. I don't know.
Yeah, I did think about that, but then I thought, I would put in like stipulations of like things that they need to do. Like, I'm going to be on them. Like,
yeah.
And I want to attract the people that want that. Like, if somebody was to say to me, right, Nadia, 30 days and blah, 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 that would activate me in a positive way, I think, to like get all the stuff done. So that's why I thought of it. But as part of the guarantee, it was like, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z in order to get that guarantee. Like, if you just don't show up, and then with the consult, obviously I was thinking in my head, like, you need to have X amount of hours per week to do this. I would qualify them, because you can't have someone that's only got an hour or a couple hours on their business and then they're not the right person for an accelerator like that.
But then just think about all the energy. Think about all the energy you're doing to do consults with all these humans. It's like an hour for 4 sessions versus an hour for 24 sessions.
Yeah.
I think that you made that thought from the place that you're not going to be in insane amounts of demand for the business accelerator yourself.
Yeah, I just think it's got more of a like, if I'm like, as an offer, like an enticing offer, because like to me, the Coaching Business Accelerator is still pretty vague. Like, it's still very like, there's no like result that I am guaranteeing or, saying. It's like,
let's guarantee.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but let's change that to make this a more compelling offer versus adding another offer.
Okay.
Does that make sense? In here, you can totally do either or. Like, and that's why I was like, literally, I am here to guide you and just give you.
Yeah.
I literally did it was like a goal achievement group I called it March Mindset Madness. And I literally did this. It also only 1 out of the 12 people that came converted. And I was like,
Was that a free offer?
nope, it was $500.
Okay.
So, but at the same time, and she was a wonderful client and like incredible. And I loved her so much. But I'm thinking that like, how many clients would you like? I would just rather you make this compelling and set like, how many clients would you want in this one offer?
I don't know. I haven't thought that through.
So then also, how often would you do it? Would you do it quarterly? It's like, so then we're making all this effort for a quarterly launch that's going to take time to market these humans, make sure they get into the program, a lot of effort to figure out what's going on in the back end. And again, I'm saying that you could do this and we can figure it. I will help you figure this shit out. However, as a person who is now launching 4 times a year, I will say that it gets a little bit, it's getting to a point where I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. Like, I'm like, I will send this to you with the date so you can see it. But I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to like, and actually, we're gonna come back to what, and I'll send this to you, I promise. But like with what Alicia was saying, how much money would you like to make next year?
I mean, the goal would be 100K. That's the goal.
Okay. So if that is the case, how much is your price right now for your 6 months?
3,000. 3K.
So right now, 3K for 6 months. So let me make sure I got all the zeros in, right? 3. So it's 33 people a year divided by 2. That's 16 people every 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you're gonna so with those numbers in mind, first off, what comes up? How does that feel for you?
Well, yeah, but then I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense if I want to have 10 clients at one time.
So what are you seeing now?
So then that won't actually work.
So we're probably gonna need to raise those prices soon.
Yeah.
Which
But
means
I think I could do that like at the second half of the year. Like I think I could do like 3K for the first half and then going into like 5K for the second, and that would make the 100K.
Okay, perfect. So we would have 10 at 3K. Where's math in here? Where's like I'm playing around with it? And this is why doing that projection sheet next week is going to be really helpful. So that will be 30K for the first half of the year. So 3, and how much would you charge for this other offer also?
I don't know. I was like, I could charge like £1,000. I know that's a lot, but like if someone who's struggling and has not signed any clients, and I'm like, you will sign a client or I'll give you it back, I would pay £1,000 for that.
Right. And we want to make you feel so then if we're thinking about this 70K for the second half of the year divided by 5,000, that's 14 clients. So that's still, we would need to make it probably higher. 70K divided by 7. So it'd be 7K for to make up the other half of that. So what I would like for you to do is instead of adding another offer to bring them in, where it's like taking that's time and like energy out of marketing to bring these people in, I would rather you be doing the thought work now to make this compelling as fuck and to be like, this is worth 7K. This is worth $14,000. How can we make this more compelling so you can go to the future version of you for the end of next year versus someone who's just trying to make money right now?
Okay.
And or you could take out one of these slots and add this into. I started a group and I love it. And there was advice against it and I wouldn't change it for the world. So
Say that again?
I like this group. I started it technically maybe before I was quote unquote ready by like some parameters and suggestions. and I was like, I really wanted to do a group. I felt like it'd be awesome. And I'm like, so within this right now, what would be your, so if you wanted to do this, if we really think it through how it would look and what it would be like, we would need at least 3 clients in this actually we would need, if you do it 2 times, if you do this offer, the 30-day accelerator every quarter, which I would not recommend you doing more than that, because if you think about your year is 12 months and you would lose 4 months to the accelerator.
Okay.
Or not the accelerator, to the intensive.
Intensive.
So that would only give you 8 months to sign these 20 clients with a price range.
Yeah.
And 20 for the whole year. So it would be like 4 months to sign these clients, and then 4 months to sign these clients.
Okay.
So if we're going to make that worth it, it would need to at least replace the people. So for the first half of the year, you would need to have at least 3 people a quarter. And then you would need at least 6 people or actually 7 people to replace that 1 person income. And that is, so it's just like time for money. So it's like, or 7 people. So it's like, this is 3 hours to get people for 4 sessions versus 1 hour to get people for 24 sessions.
Can you explain that? I don't know what you mean. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's like if you take away, so this is like one option to get,
yeah.
this is one
Okay.
option. Option 2 would be to have 9 one-on-one clients. That 3K has to come from somewhere. So this would be the intensive. Would need to sign
3.
3 people in the first quarter
Yeah.
and 3 people in the second quarter. And then to make up this, it would need to be 7 in the third quarter and 7 in the fourth quarter. And we're going to get into annual planning and things like that. That's why it's like, we're just going to mouth it. And so it's like, if this is like the intensive route, I'm saying that would be the 3 hours, the 6 hours you would take to sign these clients in the first half of the year. You could just sign more one-on-one clients. Would be an option. This would be 14 hours if you're doing consults for all these people.
Yeah.
That would be the same cost as 1 hour.
Okay.
So that's what I was meaning by time for money. It's like, but also if you're like, I want to be known in the industry as someone, for me, I was like, I'm willing to trade time for money. I was like, I know that by starting this group right now, I'm going to make less money, not just this year, but next year for sure. So I knew that going into it. I was like, because I wanted to be the kind of person who had a group. So I was like, I'm going to take this year, 2022, and the end of 2022 and 2023. And I called this what's called a non-growth year, where I was like, I'm capping myself for this year at the same income. So, and I'm actually going to make a little bit more, but like, I was like, I'm going to make less in the short term because for the long term, so it's like within my business, I could, instead of launching right now, I could take this month because I'm launching another group. I could easily take this time and sign way more one-on-one clients, get them on a wait list, and make way more money this year. Like it's like probably like 70K. Like I could make if I wanted to in these next months. But I don't want to do that. I want to start a group because I like groups and I want to be the kind of person who builds up a large group eventually. So that is why I was like, it's worth it for me to not make as much money this year to become the leader of 6-figure systems. And so we consult, that's where like the future self, it's like, would it be worth it maybe to make less next year, but to be the kind of person who has an accelerator or an intensive for the long term of your business? Because if you think
See,
about
my thing about the intensive is just like I just thought it would be a good like attention grab. You know what I mean? Like rather than like for me, it's enticing, more enticing than just a 6 month, grow your business. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Like it's not as exciting to sell, if that makes sense. Not exciting, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's just not got a promise of any kind. So I think that's harder to sell.
okay, so you have the option that might be a thought. And what I was saying at the beginning is I'm like, you can either make it more enticing and more compelling and like more exciting. We can just like work on creating better thoughts and making this program like super compelling. It's like you have to get in here. The Coaching Business Accelerator is the 66-month program that you have to be in. In the first 30 days, you're going to sign a client. Not only that, but you're going to sign X amount of clients coming from it. My thoughts about it, I'm like, it's like if you're going to be investing your time and money, you need to be doing something that's long term. You want to be doing something that's going to support you. You need to be doing something that's a higher ticket investment, because those shorter, it's like, so I could sell you on both. It's like, be like, how many quick programs have you bought and not maybe completed? Or it's like, now you have the money back guarantee, but it's like, you could sell it either way. So I'm saying we could either work on your thoughts for this and make this badass and compelling, or you could add another offer. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. I literally did it and people were like, you shouldn't do it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, and I don't regret it. I was like, because I know that there's no right decision. There's just the one I decided to make right. And I was like, this group is right for me. This is where I'm going. I want to be known in the industry as a group mastermind coach in general. I was like,
Yeah.
that's who I want to be. So like, if you're like, I want to be the kind of person who has this like exciting, enticing offer, and I want to make this a badass funnel to my one-on-one program. And I feel like this is worth the time and investing, like how to learn how to sell small. Because like, think about all the other thing is like, the value you would get in doing something short like this is you would have specific launches that you would get to learn how to launch. That's another bonus. Learn how to launch. You could have something that is and I'm saying that it's like here, I'm like, you could like, it's like, this is going to be a funnel for the future. And it's like, people will maybe opt into this lower ticket offer and they're going to come into my bigger offer. Like that would be, but I want you to do it from a place where I'm like, I've decided I'm going to do it. And also, what better time? It's like this is a good time because I'm going to do this webinar.
Yeah.
And so this could be like my first launch. And so tell me a little bit more about like the future of your business past next year. Like, what do you want to do with your business?
I think I eventually will have a group and one-on-one. I think that's how I'll have it, like a group and one-on-one.
And like, one of the things that like, Andrea, I think that we talked about is like having, it's like, if this is something that you want is to do group and one-on-one, better learn it now. And I was like, for me, I knew that I was like, there's going to be a steep learning curve and I'm ready for it. And I'm like, I know that it's going to be more demand and that's what I want. And I was like, this is literally like, if I see this as the future of my business, I'm like, I might as well learn how to launch with this lower ticket offer and learn how to sell the crap out of it than spend time getting one-on-one clients.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally fine. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, just like, I want you to know that's the decision you're making and thinking about like really selling yourself that this is the right choice for me. Like, I really want this. I think it's going to be great. We're going to, like, this is who I want to be in the industry. But I also want you to sell the crap out, like, in any event. What do you want to do? And also, I really want you to sell yourself on the Coaching Business Accelerator being so awesome and so phenomenal. The program everyone has to be in, even with this exciting new offer.
Yeah. So that's what I'm like, based on what you're saying, it's like, do you really want to put all your effort into selling a lower ticket offer when you could just put all your effort into selling your main offer.
And there might be
So
like
I
a
don't,
thought. There might be like a thought that it's going to be easier to sell this than like,
yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm thinking. I think it's more easy to sell because it's like there's a promise with it. Whereas I feel like with the coaching business accelerator, there's no like
let's make a
promise.
promise then. Let's like, it's like, let's make a
But
promise.
I don't want to work with someone, but that's the difference. I don't want to work for 6 months and then potentially have to give money back. I do a month and go all in and be like, fair enough, right? But I'm not committing to a money back guarantee and working with someone for 6 months and then with the money back. I just,
Okay. I was like,
that's too long.
but okay, so their thoughts about that as well. But why do you have to give them their money back to be compelling?
Not to be compelling, to give a promise. Like,
Okay. So your thought is like, is it what could
what
you
makes it compelling is like, if you do this, you will get X. If you do X, you will get Y.
I see what you're saying with the compelling, like you want it, it's like it's easier to sell something with a money back guarantee. And I think what you might not be seeing is like it might be like it like that it might be harder. Like I was told, I was like, it's gonna be harder to do something that's open and closed, adding a different offer, creating the stuff on the back end, making sure you've got that funnel ready, making sure that like they're like it's gonna be just more hours for less money. And potentially like if let's say we sign 3 people into it and then they don't, then they're like, I didn't do it, didn't get the result, then you would have to make up for that deficit if you want to hit that 100K. And so it would be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like if let's say they do this and they don't get their money back and they might not get their money back because you're learning about it, then what would happen is then, okay, we need to make 6 more K. Do we sign one more client? What would that look like? So it's like worst case scenario. Again, we just want to go and be strategically like, just like, okay, what are the potential obstacles that could come up? Because sometimes like when we think about these things, we're like, oh, this would be awesome. And I just want to show you all the potentials. However, I have had people try and sell me out of things that I want to do. And I don't want to be that kind of person for you. I'm like, I do not want to be the kind of person that's like, I just want to give you all of the facts and also support you in whatever you want to do. Whatever you, so it's like thinking about like why, it's like that feels good to you. It's like this is like exciting, enticing. What would be why not?
Well, it might not work. Nobody might not sign clients. There's always a possibility of that. It detracts from selling my main offer because I would have to focus fully on that to try and sell it. Yeah, just when you look at sort of the year plan, it makes it harder to make more money, which is the same thing.
Yeah. More money. Well, I think it's just like it's selling 2 different brands. It's like selling to the smash and grab humans and also the long term want this business to be like a accelerator.
So how can I make the coaching business accelerator more compelling in my
I'd love
mind?
to
Like
answer that
I think
question because I'm like, this is a thought. I'm like, it's like, let's make this really exciting. And you can still totally do this other offer if you want to. Totally can do it. But you're of the thought that it's hard. I think because you have the thought it's easier to sell, it's compelling. It's like that I think what's happening is you've sold yourself on this offer. It's like not thinking about more hours, thinking that like, or I'm gonna say excited, like excited. It's like thinking that coaching business accelerator isn't as exciting, not wanting to do a money back guarantee. So it's like you make the intensive easier to sell and CBA like potentially more difficult to sell.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like,
What are you telling yourself? We need to clean up these thoughts yesterday. I was like, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you brought this. What are your thoughts about the CBA, the coaching business?
Well, I think it's just that it's vague. There's no result. There's no like specific result.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I'm going to help you grow your coaching business. I'm going to help you sign clients. I'm going to help you, you know, get your coaching business off the ground.
You will know how your overall direction, you'll know how to manage your time, you'll know how to market, and you'll know how to sell. What about
Yeah.
that doesn't seem, it's like, so that's like your current offer, CBA. And what are like this thought, there's no result. How does that feel?
Just, pardon?
Yeah, it's like, this is just like a thought, like, Like
Mhm.
even if you were like, so if we're saying that we need to go hard on, this is why I'm really, really glad you brought this. Even if you want to do the other offer, 8 months out of the year, you're selling something that you don't even like right now.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be excited. You're not going to be selling it like the best thing since sliced bread. And if we
Yeah.
don't clean this up now, it's like,
Yeah.
regardless of other offers and things like that,
Yeah.
you're not going to be sold on these consults. You'll be like, I mean, like, it's not like that exciting. I mean, like, it's just fine.
Yeah, and it's just my thoughts about it, isn't it? It's just like, because I'm like, well, this isn't it. Whereas if I was like, you need to be in here, like if I was super sold on it, then
Mhm.
it would be easy to sell.
Yep. It's like, so it's like you undermine your ability to see there's an awesome result.
Yeah. But not specific. I think that's the bit that's getting me, because I'm like, so I could say there's a specific result,
So
but
let's
then
get
my head's
vaguer.
like, there's the
Or
risk of
let's get
like,
let's get vaguer. Let's get specificer. Okay. So it's like you will find your direction. That's in okay. So let's make it better. It's like you will have you will have your direction and you will know which direction your coaching business is in within the first 2 sessions. 2
yeah,
sessions.
because that's why I would do this intensive. I'd be like, start with
Yeah.
2 hours and like, we're going to smash out your person, we're going to smash out your program, we're going to, you know, like this is my head as I was driving. I'm like, this is what I'm
Yes.
going to do.
This is what I want you to do with your people who are going to pay you for a longer time. It's like the first session in, you're going to define your exact, like, what is like, it's like for the direction, they really want to know, like, you could be like niche. It's like you will know your niche in 1 session. 1
Yeah.
session, pick your niche will be good. With your marketing, it's like, tell me more about what you were going to do for this group that we could just put in here.
Well, I was just going to help them, like, because most of the time, especially with new people, they spend all their time just trying to create content. So I was just going to simplify it and literally create their content, not create their content, but like do with them the plan to get it planned, and then tell them about, you know, how, like, so basically do it with them, not write the content, but like schedule it, create the plan so that it can be done in a matter of hours, and then the rest of the month we're going to be talking to the people. So it's like getting it done, because even things like this, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that, but there's chances that I don't. I like someone to like be like, let's do it together right here, right now,
Right
and then
now.
it gets done.
So
Hey, Nat, can I just offer something real quick?
yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I mean, I think Megan's right on with all the thought work, but just what do you think about doing a VIP session at the beginning of your program? I mean, some people even do a whole VIP day, but if you were like, and you could even do that as a bonus, so you know, if you want something
Mhm.
enticing, like it could be a bonus
That's what I do
VIP.
with mine. Same thing.
Yeah.
That
So
welcome
that
call.
could just be part of it. So like as the selling aspect, I could be like day one, like if you sign up now, is this what you mean? Like sign up now, then you get a VIP day where we will do X, Y, and Z so that we are really going to make the most of the 6 months together. That's interesting. That's
Do you feel like
enticing.
that? What are your thoughts right now? What are your thoughts? You said that's interesting. That's exciting. Why? What are
Yeah.
you thinking about it?
I just think that that's like, that's half the battle for people. I just want to get them off the ground as soon as quick as possible. And
Mhm.
like and my concern previously is like 1 hour a week could take ages before they even like get past that hurdle. So yeah, like a full, maybe not a full day, but like an intensive day, 3 hours or something like that at the beginning, so that when then we can use the time to really get all the other stuff done. Yeah, that is a good idea.
But also notice that your brain is like, I really need to get them off the ground as quick as possible. 1 hour a week could take ages, and you're only give them 4 hours to get a whole group of people over the finish line.
No, it wouldn't be a group. My intensive wasn't a group. It was a one-on-one, and it was going to start with like a 2-hour session. It was going to be like daily communication, and it was going to be, you know, hourly from weekly from there, but with constant communication.
So you're saying that you put all this work into these people that, like, I'm like, wait a second. So it wouldn't even be a group, it would be an intensive.
No. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So just think about that. I'm like, think about all the time you would spend on those humans. That would be like, literally, are you hearing that? I'm like, it would be like 8 hours of you with them to try and get them ready versus just signing them into your program.
Yeah, okay, fair one. But then I was like, then imagine they got it, they'd be like sold on me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, if I can do it.
Your thought is they're not sold on you right now.
Yeah.
They're sold on
But
you
it's like
right now.
it's like that would prove, I think that's what it is. Like I would be showing them the value of me as their coach ahead of time. Like that's the thing.
You hearing these thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking that you have to prove yourself, that I have to give value ahead of time, and what I'm doing is some form of it's not enough. What you're doing right now is not enough. And why are you having this thought? I think it's because you might not be seeing maybe the consults coming in. It's like something has triggered this thought to create this program from scratch out of nowhere.
What should have done? Well, I think the reason I thought of it was just something to be like a hook, you know what I mean? That's like
Because
really
you're
going to
thinking,
grab their attention.
because
And
you're
then the
not
thing that's going to
thinking,
sell them up is like, once they've genuinely, what I think is like, once they've experienced coaching with me, they will be all in, because that's what's always seemed to happen. Like it's when I've sort of had that relationship with people, then they're all in, and then they want to stay. My clients stay for ages, you know, which is great.
but
Because
you're
they know the
thinking that
value.
I want to just change this one word. Once they've experienced consults with me, they're all in.
Yeah, okay.
Once they've experienced my marketing online, they're all in.
Yeah.
This idea of having to prove yourself and get that value ahead of time, you're not trusting that what you're doing right now is enough. Now, again, whether you want to add that or not is beside the point. This thought is going to hold you back in your business.
Yeah.
Because then you're thinking that I have to give them and thinking about like, what if we give them, like, what if you talking with them online, like doing the networking and things like that, that's the touch point. That's all they need to be all in, versus 8 hours of your time that you might not be able to, like that there's going to be this discrepancy.
Yeah.
I want you to keep the confidence. I just want you to shift the confidence to other aspects of your business that will help you scale more. Because if you think that, like, just think about how, if you're thinking that they have to get a lot of me before I come in, right? And I know, because I was like, I've had this thought. I'm like, if they just get to know me, if they just work with me for a little bit, then they're sold for, like, I literally, like, I felt like I know this because this was me. And what happened is, if I think about all that individualized attention, that if someone needs 8 hours of personalized time and an investment in order to really be sold on me, that is not a scalable business.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you want to
I
hit
don't want
more
that.
than 100K, if you want to hit like more than 100K next year, if you don't want to just be stuck at 100K, then you're going to need to shift these thoughts just for the future of your business to like,
Yeah.
this is enough attention for someone to want to work with me. And I'm going to offer you a thought that I got last week, that they're ready right now. They're ready right now without something fancy. They don't need to, this is proving myself enough, and I'm giving them the value ahead of time for them to be all in. Because I think there was some flavor of what I'm doing is not enough, and why I was coming to like, there must be a circumstance that is making you think that this is what they need to make it.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What is I'm triggering this thought. Like, and it could be that like it's worked in the past,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, so it's like, of course, your brain is going to go to what worked in the past. We want to
Yeah.
continue to do the stuff that worked in the past. We just want to make it scalable. We
Yeah.
want to make
Which is why a webinar is good. Like I want to have it so that it's like if I can fill my webinar and then sell them, like they get a taster of me in the webinar.
yes,
But Alicia, add in the intensive at the beginning as the enticing part, then
Mhm.
that would do it all. And it's easier to like scale and grow.
Yes, yes. But like, how like are you hearing that now? I'm like, because then you don't have to do all these 8 hours of work for a 4-week plan. I'm like, oh no. I was like, we really can't. I was like, especially for having the thought 1 hour could take ages. We also need to just work on that thought in general. I'm like, please, I was like, just in general, I'm like, just like, because it's like 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't take ages? What if it's like instant? They hear one word from you and they're like, this changed my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's going to help you if you do want to switch to group eventually, if you want to have like a group or things like that. If this is where you're going, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to support you there. And I think that the reasons why is if I thought it was a group. And I'd be like, if it was a group that was going to be this intensive, I could see it. I think that
Yeah. Because when you were saying that, I was like, no, I don't understand. I didn't understand that. But yeah, it's because I wasn't clear. This was going to be a one-on-one intensive.
yeah.
So in conclusion then, I'm feeling good because like the funnel, instead of being the intensive, is going to be my webinar. And then the enticing part, thank you, Alicia, is going to be the intensive at the beginning. And that's going to help what I think of like put them over the edge to be like, this is exactly what I need and this is where I'm going to be. Okay, great.
And I also want you to add in here, it's like if you are feeling like any piece of this is vague, take your pillars and let's make it measurable. If like, so it's like coming back to like this, like, it's like the first, you will find your direction in the first session. It's like, I'm not, this is, even though it's a 6-month session, like what I say with you guys, I'm like, you're going to have your entire program nailed out because we're going to do the welcome one-on-one call and you're going to get all of your pillars done in that first session. You can go from there. I'm like, literally, I think that in of itself is worth the investment. But from there, I'm going to teach you. And so for me, I like the version of time. That's why I think my systems, they trade time for money. I'm like, you will make more money in less time. So I'm like, you will market and it'll take you 6 hours a month. Your sales calls will convert 20%. Your I don't know what your other one is. For me, I'm like, you will be able to work 8-hour weeks. That's my planning one. So for your time management, be like, what will that work look like for them? If you're feeling like there's any vagueness, let's just make it super clear. Let's just make it specific. It's like, think about that's what I want you to think about. Like,
yeah, if I have a specific result for each of my pillars, and then that'll help me sell it.
Yes. Instead of
that's
creating another program, let's just get really clear about your program, you know?
Yeah. Okay, great. No, I love that. I'm gonna go and do all that in my head. So I've got it clear.
Get the numbers. And I'm like, literally feel free to take, because you're learning these numbers. I'm like, feel free to be like, if you like work less and make more. I was like, I do not mind at all if you want to like teach them some of the stuff that I teach too. If you want to talk about the conversion rate, I'm like, take it because people are going to come to me that are different than you.
Yeah.
And so it's like completely different humans and they just need, like everybody I think just needs this in my mind.
Yeah.
And like, if you can make this clearer, let's fucking go. Because they're like, I mean, literally like after the mastermind, I was like, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs to be working with a coach. I genuinely think the more coaches there are in the world, the better the world is.
Yeah. No, I agree for sure. 100%.
I just want to help you get out of your way to help as many people as possible.
Yes, help me do that. And then I'll help other people do that. It's like passing it on.
So fun. So this
Right, thank you so much. That was amazing.
Of course.
And thank you, Alicia, as well.
I think this really helps everybody like to understand the time for money. I know we all get exciting offer ideas. Like for me, I was like, I should do a starting thing. And I'm just gonna add this to this. Oh, and I'll still share the launch calendar so you can like think about it for the future. I'll put it in the notes, but like literally like I was like, I'm just gonna start this new offer. And I also mentioned even in the last round, I was like, I'm going to teach people how to be a business coach. And I was like, I get a lot of ideas and I really think them through before I do them. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what would this look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Is this where I want to go? Now, for
Yeah.
me, because I raised the price of the mastermind to 5K, and I know it's worth that, I know that I'm also not going to make as much money probably in this next launch. And maybe I will. I'd be super excited, but I'm like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I would rather switch the price and add my belief now versus switch the price later and do belief work later. I'm like, it's already worth it. I'm like, I feel like, again,
I agree.
I'm like,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, I'm so glad I brought this to talk to you because in my head I was sold on it. I was like, this is the best idea I ever
I
had.
know. I know. And it is. And now we just get to take all those thoughts and just channel it into your program
Yeah,
versus being
exactly.
separate. You know,
Perfect.
like,
Love
Hey,
I enjoy so much. I'm like, this is so fun. Literally, like, this
Thank
is like my
you.
favorite thing in the week. And this is when I knew I was like, I wanted to be a group coach, is I coached my friend Jess's group for her. And it was like the best day of my life. I was like, this is it. I was like, this is what
Yeah.
I'm meant to do in the world. And I was like, from that moment on, I was like, yep, I want to be I want to do group coaching. So I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be so great.
Thank you.
I do actually, I was like, let me just double check if anyone has any questions or thoughts or anything. I think I actually have time. Yeah, I don't have someone till 1. If you have to go, I just adore you. You're incredible. Please keep up the amazing work. Ask me if you have any questions at all, and I've got you. Anyone else want some quick coaching before we go today?
Megan Armory asked a question. She checked out the weekly tracker and it doesn't have formulas on it, she said. And mine,
With
it
the
doesn't look,
formulas.
yeah. So, and then
Formulas. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, pest control. I was like, okay. I was like, I missed all these. I was like, okay. The week, oh, so the formulas. So the formulas come from a different module. Such a good question. I'll just include both of those videos because the video to explain how to do formulas came with the delivery systems with this one about like how to, it was like about how to, I think this is nope. It's a video explaining how tracking charts in progress. So this works, and I can make it.
Everybody. So I went.
Harmony, I'll make one that's specifically related to these numbers. So essentially what I did to get here, the reason why I didn't fill those formulas in for you already is the weeks change for the year. So I tried to do that. But if you like each month has that like the ends are going to change. So I couldn't do like all of January in these clumps like I would before. Army, go ahead and I was like, does that make sense? So like each year it's going to change. So the way that you do that, I do the average for the energy, and I have energy. I added that to mine because, as you guys know, I'm a very action line oriented lady, and I got some feedback that they were like, this is all A line, this is all R line. Where are your thoughts and feelings? And I'm like, right. I was like, so I added the thoughts and feelings into energy. Like, that is what that is. It's like, how did I feel? What was I thinking? That's what I just encompassed into energy. If you want to include that, feel free to. That's the one I do the average for. So in order to get that, and it's not exact, it was just like a general feeling for me. The way that you do that, and I'll make a separate video that looks nicer. But you click the equal sign.
I know I know how to do it, and I was starting to do it, but instead of doing it for each cell or like for each line, I was wondering if, because you already have the formulas, and then if you add one line or not, it would be easier.
Oh my God, if you know an easier way to do this, this is literally how I do it every month. It was like,
And you do it cell by
more than me
cell.
about Excel. I was like, so this is how I do it.
Yeah, I've started doing it January, and the same for revenue, because I know a little bit. And then I was wondering, instead of doing it for each line, for each month,
you can do it.
I was wondering if you already had it, and you do.
That's literally what I do. But I have to do it by hand. Is there a better way? I'm learning all about more automations now. I'm like, is there a better way to Excel than this? Because I don't know what it is. I was like, I literally just.
Yeah, there might be a way, but I don't know it.
Because I'm like, I think, and then what happens is I have to go back and change it because like if it were to be like the November totals, if I do this, what I thought would be super easy and fun is if I do the average for just these for November, I'd be like, okay, wouldn't you think that this one would populate and be like the next one would do the same thing, but it's different. It always goes down. I'm like, why would you do that? I was like, it just told you what to do and it moves it down. And I don't know why, but it really does bother me. So if someone is better at Excel than me, please help because literally like it is a pain in the butt, but it's like, I literally just go through and I'm like, what is the sum of the blue squares? What is the sum of the,
I'm wondering if you drag it, if it works.
see, because it keeps going down. Do you see that how it goes down? Even though I just told it, I was like, hey, see, look, even this. I'm like, why is it here? Why are you here? Why are you not before? I don't understand. It's very annoying. I was like, literally, like you saw me, I just did it with the other ones. And so I'm like, I guess I could manually go in and be like 45 to 58 or 48, like that. But I was like, literally, if anybody knows how to Excel better, see, look, why is it to 46 to 49?
Okay,
I don't know why it does that.
I'll see.
If someone else, literally, this is what I have to do every single month. And it still gets it wrong. It's more so, and this is like tedious. I'm just anal and crazy about these kind of things, as you guys know. So I like actually like to see this kind of stuff. But also, like, if you just want like a general overview and it's like populating some from October, some from whenever, it's still fine.
Yeah.
It just bugs me. It's like a personal problem.
Okay.
But yeah, and next week we're going to talk about projections. And I can show you guys, I'll make a whole video about how I did this for you guys and what you can do even in your weekly tracker. If you want, you can, for the progress tracking, I did this for the last round. So it's like you have the progress tracking with your data like this. And then I made like a money responses one. Demetria, do you remember that? Like, so there's one for money. I didn't do it for this one. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you guys how to do that and I'll add this because it was like, oh, okay. Like my revenue is changing and I have one here that's like, okay, what's my income and what's my revenue so far for here. So that could just be fun to see. It's like, oh, even though things are like changing week to week, I'll make a video right now about that.
Hey, Megan. I mean, since we're talking spreadsheet stuff,
yeah.
create a form, a progress tracker for each person. Is that how you get it to populate in their own spreadsheet?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's cool because so it's like if I like for this responses, and I've changed the questions each round, but I make this for each person and it takes me like a very short period of time, but I do this every round. Every new person gets a spreadsheet.
Wait, but how do you send everyone the same? Does everyone have the same form link?
Great question. No, everyone has a different form. So each of you, like that's why your name's at the top. So each of you guys have a different form.
And so, yeah. How do you go into the classroom and have just why don't I see everyone else's forms?
If you click edit, you can go for one student or for everybody. So if I click save here, everyone would see your form and be able to edit your form. And I think that's what somebody was mentioning, like I can see this form and I shouldn't at the beginning. And then I just was like, oh no, I was like, whoops, because I don't want anyone editing your form. I was like, that would not be great. So I made it so you can only see your form. I can see everybody's.
Because you're the teacher, you can have okay.
Yeah.
work for my program, but
I would say like for you though, it's like if you think about the questions that you want to ask them related to your pillars, if you go in and you're like, okay, like here are just a couple of quick questions. I make one form, and I think I shared this with you, but I'll share it, like just show everybody. So I think you were one of the first people who joined the group. So I took yours and then I took this and I said, here, I said, make a copy for everybody else. So again, like coming to the thought that like if I wanted to do like Jess, if Jess
Right.
joined the group, I would do that. And then I would do the responses linked to sheets. And then I only include, so let's say I make Jess, and I would change the name on her form to Jess.
Yeah.
And then I would have Jess responses. What I would do is then I would make a new material. This is actually great for everybody to see. So I'm really glad you brought this up. So for all of these things, they're in Google Classroom. I could do a tutorial on this too. There are a bunch of different things that you can add. I always just do material. And then I would say Jess is the title. And I would say form link. And then I would go send link here, copy it. So she can't change the questions for her form.
Right.
Just for everybody, that's a good form tip. You can't, so that would go here. And then I would say spreadsheet. And then I actually make it, so if you wanted to go back and edit your sheet, you could if you wanted to. So I go, instead of general access, I go to anyone with the link can edit. Oh, sorry, y'all's faces. I was like, it's like over to editor, copy link, classroom, spreadsheet, under topic, progress trackers, all students, her.
Yeah. So the only, my only issue with that is just that it's not worth going into, but I was like,
it's quick when you do it, like for multiple people.
I can't, because of the way that I send messages and my group program in the app.
I don't think it would work in your app, maybe.
It's too hard to go, send 11 different messages, when they were all getting the same calendar. Anyway, that's my individual
Well,
problem.
what you could do is you could start it with that message and just be like, can they star a message? Is there any way they could pin that message? Save the link? I get what you're saying. In different, so that's again why I love Google Classroom. It's a cool different features, but
yeah. I'll have to play around.
Thank you. Yeah, but the again, I'm not selling Google Classroom by any shape, no affiliate link here. But the cool thing that I did not even realize, each round up until this freaking round, I was going in and adding every single system in by hand, copying and pasting these MFers by hand, every single system, making sure that all the links were right for every single thing. And I realized that you can just go like this, copy, and it makes a whole new classroom with all the same stuff. And it just looks like this. And it is just it says draft. So go in and schedule it. I was like, so that was a whole moment for me. I was like very excited and very also devastated. I was like, this is so fucking frustrating. I was like, I can't believe that I did that, but here we are.
You crack me up, Megan.
I was just so mad. I was literally like, I could have been doing this. You have no idea how much time this has taken me every single round. Like, no idea. And I like efficiency, and I'm like,
can I ask one more question about the spreadsheet?
Of course.
So if you have a spreadsheet with everybody, with lots of responses on it, let's just, even your progress or your income tracker, is I used to use Jotform, so I'm trying to transition to Google.
Okay.
And in Jotform, it does give you a spreadsheet, but then you can select individual, there's a little box by each one so that you could draw out, like I could draw out responses that way. Can you do that on Google Forms? Because on Google Sheets, I can't seem to find it. I've tried to YouTube it and everything, and I can't.
I don't think, because I'm not familiar. Would you mind sharing your screen to show me what you mean? Because I want to help you figure this out, but I don't know what you mean.
Hold on, let me pull up my.
Oh my gosh. Also, if anyone hasn't watched this and you actually do want to make these spreadsheets, just like a little aside is like, I have the dates for for the feature launches, literally like the next round of you guys, if you want to do this round again, it's going to go from April. I can tell you it's going to go from April 2nd to September 9th. And I also by hand for every round other than this round, I have done this upcoming round. And all you have to do is go to add a question. Be like, I want to add a question. Where is that? And you can literally just like go in. Where is the add a question? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can delete this and be like, oh, I want to add a question about, oh, here, this plus add a question. And I can just go dates, click here, paste all of them. Paste all of them. That was like thrilling. Sorry, I know this is like a minor thing and it's not what you were asking, but I was just so frustrated that I was like, I just learned all these hacks. So it was like, again, Harmony, I was literally saying you probably know more about spreadsheets than I do. I just went super simple. I was like, this is what I know. This is what I can help with. I know nothing. I was like, again, I was an elementary school teacher. So y'all probably know, especially corporate people, you might know spreadsheets more than I do. I love a good spreadsheet and it's the most elementary, literally, way of doing things.
Okay, so I'm about to show you. I just, for some reason,
it should allow it. It should allow it.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging on, everybody. I was like, I hope this has been helpful, and I'll make a tutorial on all things Google Classroom and
so this is Jotform, and this was my easy knee pain responses, right? And
cool.
so I did have them like rating stuff. One thing I can do is I can go in and be like, okay, so let's see. Let's say I want all of Katie. I can check Katie, all of Katie's. And then
what you could even do is you can go search and you can click Katie and you can just get all of her and then click down.
Okay, this was Jotform. So I'm wondering, can you do the same thing on Google Sheet?
I don't think so. That's awesome, because then you wouldn't have to make a spreadsheet for everybody. The thing is, if you collect all of Katie's information and you go to make a spreadsheet for her, could you do that?
Yeah, I can download.
That's wonderful.
So
you can't do that with Google Form. However, I do like going every time that Katie does a different entry, would you have to download it again?
Yes.
So that is the benefit of having separate spreadsheets, separate forms for each. Also, bye, Demetria. I love you. Have fun in Houston or wherever you're going. Drive safe.
Okay.
But you see what I mean? Like, so it's like, that's the thing I do like. So every week I go into literally, and what has helped me to keep you on track more than like any other group I've ever done is every single week when I go to do the recap of the week, I click on each of y'all's spreadsheets and I go in and I'm like, okay, what were their wins of the week? What is challenging them? And if there's something that like I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize that this is happening. Like someone, they just took on 60 hours at something else. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, are you okay? Are you doing good? Do you need any extra support? Just so I could check in with each of you guys to make sure you're getting like the personalized attention that you might not in other places. Like, so it's not just your form is not just a form for you to have a form and reflect. I wanted it to make something that like it would benefit me as a coach. And eventually I'm going to hire somebody to do all that for me so that I can, so they can just check in with me and be like, oh, it's like Alicia's having a hard time. Like, check in with her. Or it's like Harmony's crushing it. She's signed a new client. You should talk about this. Like, talk with her, celebrate her, like something like that, So that's just more so for me. I'm like, I want to make sure that you guys are getting the results you want. And like again, coming back to to Nadia, the intangibles, being like, you will feel better about marketing by the end of this program. You will feel better about sales by the end of this program. Even if it's not that 20% thing, then it's like all of these areas will improve. Nothing that you learn in this mastermind will hurt you or be a waste of time. Everyone has gotten better. So that's the way I like to do it, like making it something that like I'm guaranteeing like the intangible stuff. How's that feel?
Sorry, I was muted and I was talking.
that
makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that like, yeah, I think this is good. But I like, let me know if you have any other ideas. Like, that's really cool that you can pull everyone out. I think I might have even actually, you know what you could do? The thing that is frustrating about Google Forms, because so just so you know, I actually tried to do what you were saying in the first round, and this was for everybody. And it was insane. And I was like, oh my God, literally like 2 weeks in, I was like, I have no idea who's doing what. And if you go populate and you go sort by name, if you go like sort spreadsheet A to Z, these aren't her responses. So it was like,
You need to highlight the whole thing and do that though. You need to like hold and it's because you've only sorted by name, so the name sort, but you need to cover it all and then sort by name.
I kid you not, I posted about
that should be it anyway. Like that should be the responses.
I think you're right.
Does it?
I posted about this. Yep. I posted about this in 200K like 7 times and no one understood. I was like, please, somebody, for the love of God, help me figure this out. You just, yep, that's it.
Because you're only sorting the name at that moment. You need to highlight the whole text, the whole the whole system, and then sort.
Oh, I'm trying that right now. Let me see.
So you could totally do that. And then you could just have, the only thing is you would have to change but if more people added, you just have to do that every week. And do you want to give them a graph, or do you just want to see that? Or do you want to like, because then would you have to like go back in and be like, okay, let me redo the graph. Because now that you guys have, I just went in once and I did the graph and it was like good for it. If this person were going to add this, it would be done for every time. Does that make sense? Like I didn't have to make a new graph every week.
So is the graph just there? Like if I went and looked on mine, do I have a graph?
Yep.
Okay.
I was like, I did that. So
you don't need to, but yeah.
I was saying, but like for Jess, like, so I go in and that's what I meant. I texted a couple of you guys after the second session and I go down to 25 because the first one is blocked and these are the amount of sessions we'll have. So I went over here and I just blocked it out so I would know when to stop it. And I went here and I was like, okay, actually I take off time step, but I goes, what week is it? And then overall organization, I click here. I do insert, chart, line. Oh wait, hold on. I messed up. Hold on. I was like, it's easier when you've got like a couple of answers. So it's like,
yeah,
1, 2, it's like just saying random shit. But like going through like that. Oh God. I was like, yeah, something like that. So if you go to what week is it? Yeah, you see how it's already changing it. So it's like the setup would be like the series is going to be like, what week is it? I want that as the axis. So I make it that. And then I remove it from this. I take out what you're going to implement. How much money have you made? And then I just focus on delivery, marketing. Put marketing on there twice. I don't know why I've got, but you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
And then I change the vertical axis to be, that's the grid lines. I was like, I've never seen that before. I just make it 10. So like I can see people's growth. Okay. The horizontal axis. But like, so I did that week 2 for everybody, which did take a little bit of time, but now everybody has a graph.
But could you not do it once and then just copy and paste, like do it? Would that not
With
work?
this, so it's like there would already be one response recorded for that person in order to make a spreadsheet for him. So it's like I could do this and I could be like, okay, everyone's gonna get this and just change the name. Or like, but like I would still need to do the charting. Now I guess I could, that when I make the chart, I could probably go and just like make the chart and things like that.
10 times, yeah.
But yeah, because I'm already making the form. It's just it's a lot of times like I want to make sure that like you see how it's like looking weird. I'm like, why is it looking weird? It's easier to understand why it's looking weird if there's numbers there. And I want
Yeah.
these numbers in for them to be like, you know what I mean? To be like, I'm like, wait, what did this person actually say? So if I just have 2 responses, I usually make time for this like week 3, and I'm like, then I'm good. And I know I could do this with 35 people at most. I'm like, but I would hopefully we'll have a BA that will do this eventually,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
I didn't catch all of that because I was looking, but Megan, if you just sort by name, it did move everything for me.
It moves everything, but it doesn't make the graph. And I like the little graph. So I'm saying if you don't want the little graph, then you can totally do that. But if I did it for everybody, so I was saying for Amber, like if I wanted to get Amber's data, I would have what week is it, how much money, anything else you'd like to tell me. And then I could make this a graph and I could make it a chart, align what week is it, take out the wins.
Yeah,
take out
but
the money, have this. But then every time she has a new answer, and if someone else knows this, but I'm like, so you can see how she grew. But then if she adds a new answer, it wouldn't go into the graph because I wouldn't have her answer. Yeah.
But can you not just format like the cells that she's going to put her on answer?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, but I don't think that you can and be like, Amber's gonna get cells 1 through 24.
Yeah.
Because what happens is every time that if they were all to answer again, the way it comes in with Google Forms would be
that's why you do it on a separate one. Yeah.
So every time
I get that, because if they all answer in the one form, it's going to mess everything up. Yeah, for sure.
they wouldn't
But
get
could you not? And I'm just not there yet. And we don't have to spend time together doing this. I mean,
I was like, I offered this freely. I was like,
could you not just pull out like copy cells 4, 5, and 6, which belong to one person, and put them in their own spreadsheet from there?
that's what we were saying. We're not sure it's always going to be 4, 5, and 6. And you'd have to change it every week to make sure that Amber goes to 4, 5, and 6 or 1 through 20. And then you could do it. But every week it's going to be different. Does that make sense?
Plus, you don't really want Amber seeing everyone else's, do you? You would just want individuals so you can see your own.
Yeah, that's why I did it too, because I don't want just me seeing this. Like when I do, and I loved Armony's idea of doing like a halfway point checking in to pull this up and being like, and we're going to talk about like, in not next week, because we're doing, oh, this is for April. Not the right month. Not the right group. I mean, but we're gonna do projections, and then we're going to, on month 11, I'm going to talk to you about how to evaluate things. So if I see people that are like, I'm a 2 for marketing every time, and I've taught them how to market in the way that I think would give them the clarity that I'm hoping you all have, I try to make the question, do you have a clear way to market your business online? And someone's always saying 3, even though they know the systems now. I'm like, okay, so what are you defining marketing as, and how can we keep it going up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus like,
or it's the mindset of it, like, because you know the system, right?
and
What's
then
going on
bringing
in
up,
here is causing this
and then I
issue.
can be
Because
like,
my answers will go up and down, but it's how I feel that week.
right.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
it's like, so that's why I tried to make the questions more like, it's like, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do this? If you know
Yeah.
how, the way you feel about it can change. But if it's I just want to make sure you know the system. You have the system for it, whether or not you want to use it, whether or not things are working. Then we bring it to coaching. But it's like my goal is to get you here sooner. And if it's not here, then I'm like, okay, well, what would it take to just at least improve? Because I just don't want people going down and like staying down without me talking to them before the end of the program either. Because that's
Yeah.
like, and I want them to see that like, oh, it has like, I think a lot of times when you guys do the forms or anything like that, sorry, I was like, let me go to just a random person, you forget. They're like, oh, I didn't realize it was 3 every week. So that's why I think I'm going to start either doing
Yeah.
like halfway check-in, which is Harmony, brilliant idea, or even monthly check-ins and being like, hey, it's like, I looked at your numbers. Here's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this? I already made it so that there's going to be the form every month. So that I think came out last week, like this, hey, happy second month, happy third month. And I made announcements for every month up until the end here.
Is this for feedback?
Yeah, for feedback. So if you guys have any, and that goes for everybody. If you have any feedback, please fill this out.
Okay.
Let me know what you're thinking. I was like, if I
Okay.
can make it better in any way, shape, or form,
Okay.
I want to know. But within that, I also would like to check in with you guys and be like, and so I'm thinking like a good halfway point is a good idea, Harmony, to be like, hey, like, let's take a look at your graph. Let's take a look at this. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Are you getting what you wanted out of the program? Is there anything
Yeah.
more I could do? Is it what you were hoping for? Hopefully more. If it wasn't, please let me know
Yeah.
so I can clean up for my marketing in the future. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea to do a check-in because currently I only do the welcome one-on-one and a final one-on-one. And it's kind of like a renewal call, but I'm thinking about adding like a middle one-on-one. Again, I haven't agreed to this because it's going to be in December and there's a lot happening and maybe into January, but I do think I'll probably end up doing that with you guys and anyone else going forward. Just because it feels better to me to be like, are you happy? Like for the most part,
Yeah.
are you
What's going on?
satisfied?
Yeah.
Do you understand what to do? Because by that point, you'll have all the systems. So
Okay.
all these things are going to be, and I scheduled these too. Sorry, I know I see your hand. So yeah,
Alicia, you
I was like, I love it. I was like, what's up? Alicia.
So, so I see
Oh,
my,
I need to go. I've just realized the time. Sorry. Right, I've got to
Oh
go
no,
now.
you're good.
But thank you so
We
much.
love you. Have a great week.
You too. Bye. Oh
Have
gosh.
Thanksgiving. I was like, well, you don't have Thanksgiving. That's fine.
so real quick, the spreadsheet where I see my spreadsheet with my answers, but then you have a spreadsheet where you're rating the, not that one. It's not that one. It's the one it's colored and it's like you've got your pillars at the top and then it's got like, I don't know where it is. So I'm asking because I
My
can't.
pillars.
Yeah. Like for each, I think it's for your one-on-ones.
Oh, it might be. Hold on. I was like, let me see. I was like, yeah. So for my one-on-ones, I just do this by hand with them every week. So
Yeah.
like, yeah.
See,
So
you have a
this,
copy? Yes.
yes.
Do you have a copy of that?
Of course I do. It is in week 2. I'm gonna put it in. I'm just gonna send it to you, but it's right here, the weekly tracker template. And this is where you're gonna put your pillars in, and I'm just gonna customize it for you. What are your 5 again?
Well, I don't know why I keep getting into the sharing screen thing here. I'm not
Very
sharing.
good. I was like, here, let me pull up your pillars. I was like, it's fitness, knee pain, confidence, consistency. Or is there anything else that's there?
And nutrition.
Okay. Confidence.
Yes. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. I didn't know we had it. I was just, what my question was going to be, where is,
Sorry. I was like, and you're gonna put your program name here. It's like knee pain, or it's like
that's,
healthy
yeah,
hiker. Add one more for,
yes.
I'm just gonna do insert row below.
Yeah.
Make this like this. I'm just gonna do this for you because it takes like 2 seconds. 1, 6, and then use copy and paste this. So it's confidence, fitness. What was the other ones?
Oh my gosh.
Nutrition was one of them. I know this.
Oh my God. I can't even think.
I got you. I was like, hold on. Fitness, knee pain, confidence, consistency, nutrition. fitness,
Thank-
confidence,
I have it pulled.
knee pain, consistency, nutrition. And then you're just gonna move this bad boy over to here, take out the color coding for here, and delete those. Make this one a smidge longer. This is what I meant. I was like, people can bring this to me in these calls because it doesn't take me longer. As long because I've just done this so many times. So then boom. Now you can just give this to all of your humans. If you want to change the colors, you can.
Thank you. And that's okay. Perfect. If I can have a copy of that, that would be awesome.
Done.
And then I'm gonna try. Thank you.
I'm gonna put it in the stream. That's what I was like, if you want my help with this kind of stuff, I'm like, I know it's like minimal, but it actually like makes a big difference. Whoops. You know, because I'm like, this took me so long to figure out. And it also helps me to know what, like, especially like the questions about Google Classroom. I'm like, oh, I'll just make a tutorial on it. I'm like, but there you go. That should be good and awesome. Amazing. So how are you guys feeling? You feeling good?
Thank you. Thanks for that.
I know I stayed on like way longer than anticipated. I'm sorry for going over, but I love you guys. I just hope you were having the best week ever. I miss you, and I will see you on Tuesday of next week for more awesomeness. You're gonna
Wait.
love the projections one. It's fun.
What time out? Where'd you send that? Did you put it in the stream or what?
Put it in the stream. And I tagged you in it. And I'll also just email this to you. Like, I was like, done. Because I do not want you to have to like panic about these kind of things.
I'm looking for it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's helpful. Thank you again.
Of
right.
course. All right. I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. And I will see you next week.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.